Good morning to you. This is Talk Breakfast with me, Julia Hartley-Brewer. It's 8:49. Let's talk about the dangers of AI as opposed to the dangers of Neil Ferguson and spreadsheets and graphs showing a pandemic demand for lockdown. Let's talk about the dangers of AI as the artificial intelligence, we are told by some people who should know, is basically on a threat in terms of the threat to humanity of things like a global pandemic, nuclear Armageddon. That is what the senior bosses at Google DeepMind, OpenAI, Anthropic, and the godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, have said in an open statement, saying these risks should be treated as a global priority on the same par. Let's talk to Andrew Eborn. He's a media and technology lawyer and a futurist. Good morning to you, Andrew.
Good morning, Julia. Lovely and always an honour to join you.
I right back at you, Andrew. What can I say? I think it's incredible they've not included global warming and climate change, but also, crucially, an asteroid attack, which is the single biggest threat to mankind. And not a joke, it genuinely is. It's what the military and, NASA are most concerned about. But do you believe that that AI is a threat to humanity on a par with a pandemic or nuclear war?
Well, I'll tell you what's happened, Julia. As always, the media have sort of gone the wrong end of the stick, if you like, because where it's really come, what I love about your show is you actually shine more light and less heat. Where this came about is actually from the Centre for AI Safety. And they put up a statement saying mitigating the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority alongside other societal scale risks, such as pandemic and nuclear war. And they invited the great and good and the unwashed from the industry to sign up to that statement. And I indeed, Andrew Eborn, futurist, broadcaster and barrister, have signed that statement. Because what we're doing is making sure that people are not ignorant about the capabilities of AI. Yeah. And Stephen Hawking himself, he said it's our greatest human achievement, but also potentially the biggest existential threat. So what I do is travel around the world, as indeed do various others, talking about what the opportunities are, but also making people aware of the risks.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Virtually everything comes with a risk. I mean, people talked about the people, the men who developed nuclear weapons risk. Well, actually, nuclear weapons ended up being required to end the Second World War. But, of course, they're now a permanent threat. It was a threat with Ukraine. It's a threat from North Korea, from China. And we have that issue ongoing. I mean, when we talk about the threat of AI, my initial thought when I first saw the headline was, we're talking about, the threat we've seen in science fiction. They're on Wyndham's, the Asimovs and the like, writing about in these Hollywood films about AI taking over and becoming cleverer than us and deciding, what do we need these humans for? Let's wipe them out. Or, I don't know, just put them in pods, Matrix style, and just create a virtual world. That's the sort of stuff I thought. But actually what they're talking about is what we're already using AI for, nanotechnology as well, where we're actually being able to just do computing at a vast speed, incredibly broadly, and being able to develop weaponry, biological, chemical weapons, and do all this work at an immense speed. And that's where the threat comes from, they're saying.
Yes, I think also the biggest threat is from misinformation. And
is it misinformation? AI being used to deliver fake news to us?
Yes, absolutely. And we had very recently everything where you have the Pope in a puffer jacket, and the devil may wear Prada, but the Pope prefers puffer. And you see this image that went round the world, and people assumed that it was true. You had a case just yesterday, and every single day there are cases about AI, but there was a lawyer in New York who used ChatGPT to ask about some evidence for his client, and basically coming up with the best case. This particular client was suing an airline for personal injury because they were hit by a trolley whilst they were travelling. And the lawyer quoted all of these cases in the court, and the judge looked at it and said, well, hang on, I'm not familiar with these cases. And it turned up that the ChatGPT made them up. So the cases were entirely fictitious.
That's amazing, because you would have thought the point of that would be that ChatGPT can do the quick, I'll just go through all the different cases, do a quick Wikipedia search, clarify that these are true, yeah, wonderful, and give them to you. But we can't trust anything we get from that. I mean, I'm very scared of the whole idea that you're going to have a load of people who are coming out with qualifications as either lawyers or even worse, doctors, and actually they've used AI to do their exams, and they don't know the stuff we need them to know to keep us alive. But when we're looking at an existential threat to humanity, to our planet, how do we prevent that?
Well, there's a number of things. It's basically, and it is a similar threat to the nuclear side. There is the spread of misinformation. There's the opportunity that you can put fake videos out. You could have Trump saying something, you have Biden saying something.
I think all Trump's videos are fake. They can't. None of them can be real.
You could be right on that one. But it's rather similar. I mean, if you have a fork, for example, a fork can be used for eating spaghetti or for stabbing you in the back. You don't stop productions of fork. What you do is regulate the use of it. And I think that's the important thing, is you can basically get rid of these hallucinations, as they're called, in the AI world, where they make things up.
Yeah.
You can basically make sure that the programs themselves don't do that. But you can also have regulations. What I don't like are things like automation of weapons, if you like, because the AI may basically misunderstand the threat, and as a result have that nuclear button.
That's absolutely crazy, isn't it? Andrew Eborn, absolute pleasure to talk to you. One of the signatures to this letter. He's a futurist and technologist. Thank you for that.